Hello, everyone, and welcome you to our next XOAP live session number, I think 9 today. Yeah, once again with our CTO, Sinisha. Welcome.
Hello again.
Again on the same place, on the same screen. Yeah, we are talking about our module scripted actions today. Sinisha will show us a little bit of insights, what's happening in the next weeks and months. As usual, this session will be recorded and uploaded to our YouTube channel. So ring the bell, follow us on YouTube, and check out all of our other tutorials. But back to business. In the last session, we are talking about scripted actions, the release of scripted actions. And today we would like to show you a little bit what's happening over there, some scripts, some templates, how to access them, how to implement them to the front end. But now, Sinisha, to you, where we can find the scripted actions templates, the scripts, and how we can handle it.
Okay, so as you can see on the screen, I already navigated to our GitHub repository, GitHub/XOAP-IO. If you go there, you see those pinned items here above. So a few of our templates for specific modules, as well as this new pinned repository for the scripted actions part. And I showed it briefly in the last session. We went just quickly through the possibilities that we have here. But today, maybe with some more insights on what the different things are capable of and what to expect from them. So if you go into the repository, we can see here some sort of different subfolders. Some of them that are already usable within the platform management module with scripted actions, some that will be implemented in the future. Like bicep related stuff and ARM related stuff. So those are future things that will come to the solution. Today, if you look at what's possible, those are AWS CLI, AWS PowerShell, Azure CLI, and Azure PowerShell related things, as well as everything you can do with PowerShell natively. So what are we actually doing here? So let's have a look maybe at the Azure CLI and some use cases that you also saw maybe in the last weeks from our blog. So related to the changes that were done on the Azure Virtual Desktop host pool level with the preferred application group type, for example, we updated one of our scripts that can be used to update Azure Virtual Desktop host pools with a new option here. And basically what we have in every of our scripts is a header with some explanation, what it's all about, how to use it. You can see that there's no authorization or login information that we have here. So this is something that we are handling completely with the connections part in XOAP. So we just look at the basic plain functionality from the script that you can upload to the workspace, or that's a lot of things here are part of the template where you already get a certain amount of scripts that you can directly use when you start or create a workspace. But a lot of things that we are doing here side by side to the development in the product is also we are adding here use cases as we create them. So you will have, like always, some sort of updates or new functionality that you can use right off the box without having to create these scripts on your own. So what we did here is actually from the blog regarding those preferred app group type, we added here a new parameter with a set of validated options you have. So desktop, non, or rail applications with a preference. So that is the thing that's always the standard setting. And basically here below, you can see the Azure CLI commands that are being run with such kind of script. So that's one of the use cases, for example, you have. Based on which module you use, either CLI or PowerShell, you have a lot of different options that you can run on your Azure or AWS environment. So that's a little bit related to the functionality, the function set of the CLI or the PowerShell. So depending on what use case you have, if you, I don't know, want to log off users from Azure Virtual Desktops, you can use the PowerShell instead of the CLI, because there's like those functions supported. I'm not going to the Microsoft side now to go into the details, but actually everything that those modules provide, so on a functionality level regarding Azure or AWS, can also be run and scripted with the scripted actions from XOAP. The cool thing about it is if you use or if you integrate one of those scripts into your workspace, and that's something you can see here, you don't have to take care of running a terminal, connecting to a cloud provider, putting in the parameters inside a terminal, PowerShell window, or whatever. You actually just define those things here in the GUI, because we look at the script when you upload it and add it here, and then give you the specific options that you can, where you can put in your parameters and variables. You can save this thing and then run those scripts against one connection or as many subscriptions or tenants, accounts, however you call it, in the end, and can run it in multiple locations at once from one single location.
Which is pretty interesting, as maybe I'm a managed service provider and have different customers with different connections, and I have a fix for these ABD environment, and I can execute it, test it first of all on my test subscription,
Yep.
and then deploy it to multiple customers by click. So I do not have to connect everywhere and go through the settings and so on.
Yeah, we have, for example, a lot of customers that are creating like default security groups where they open up port 22. You could create a script to create to adjust or create a new security group, deploy it throughout your environments, and like fix those security issues, I would say it, in one go without having to go into all the separate
Cool. Is there
accounts
a
and do that.
limitation how many scripts I can upload in scripted actions and how many connections I can execute?
So no, currently there's no a limit on that. So you can upload as much scripts as you need. So I think here we have, in this demo account, we have around about 75, but there's no limit. So you can upload as many scripts as you need. And you can also create scripted actions and connections as you need.
Okay, cool.
Another question from your side, or I will go on with a few details.
No,
So
let's go on.
Okay, from the last session, we made a few usability adjustments. So maybe if you watched the last time, there's something new here. So in the first iteration, you had to upload the scripts to resources and then go to scripted actions to use the script or to add the script that you wanted to use. So that's still valid. So if you want to upload a lot of resources, you can do that via the central resources area and then select those scripts here to create a scripted action. We now implemented a shortcut. So basically, you don't have to go to resources anymore. You just go to scripted actions and can drag and drop the script here directly. So it's an easier way of, or a faster way of creating a scripted action. That's one thing that we implemented. And the other thing that we added here in all of the details pages. So that's not only related to scripted actions, it's also related to resources, tags, parameters, all the new stuff that we added. You now have the option here to also remove those things directly. So those are little things, improvements that we made to make the life a little bit easier from the administration perspective. And we will continue to improve the solution to make usage even easier than it was before.
Yeah, and one important thing is scripted actions and platform management is available in every module for now. So everybody create a workspace or a XOAP account, have access to scripted actions and platform management, so he can execute everything on multiple accounts. That's pretty nice.
That's true. So any questions from your side, Mario? So
No,
do you want to see something else?
That's great. Thank you. I'm looking forward to what's coming up next you are working on. So maybe a small hint on the roadmap.
Yes, sure. I'll fire up Figma for this. So specific to scripted actions, maybe that's one of the more interesting parts here. And I'll say it again, that's typically the only stage where I show actually behind the scenes, so what we are working on. We said it at E2E that we are working on central schedule area, so something you will find in the lower left corner in the navigation bar very soon. So we are currently adding the schedule area here, and that will give you the chance to define like a certain set of schedules, weekly, monthly, daily, whatever you might need. And those schedules will then be assignable to scripted actions specifically and to images in the future. So those are the two things that we are now targeting with those capabilities here. So you will actually be able to run then something like update the host pool or update your security groups because you want to take care that they are always like the same. And when somebody manually does something that is rewritten again to the state that you want to have, those will be the capabilities you can expect. Hopefully, within the next update session, we will have schedules available to show also in live. And another thing that I want to point out here from the user's perspective is the configuration management part. So from config management, we are currently working on compliance history for all the nodes. So what you currently have is you only see the latest state of the node. So either it's compliant or not with a specific failed resources that you can check within the front end. And currently we are working on giving you an overview over the states that a node was in so that you can see if somebody is maybe changing constantly something manually and it gets reverted back or if there are other issues because of a configuration change that you have to look into. So this will give you an overview of the past states depending on the policy you configure. You will have something from 15 minutes to whatever hours or days you configure in the policy interval. This will give you more insights, and you also see here there's a view more button. We are also currently working on getting more information into the node details to have just a better overview of the information that's available from a node.
Yeah, which is very important because what we see in our customer talks and projects is we have a lot of configuration drifts over different platforms. And now it makes it more easier to identify why and how to solve it. Definitely, that's a cool topic.
Yeah, right. So that's it from my side for one of the next sprints. And in the next update session, we will go one step further. So I already have a few things to show, very interesting stuff as well. In addition to resources and scripted actions, there's more to come.
Very nice. Yeah, thank you for the insights, Sinisha. Thank you, community, for joining our session. Check out our blog. Yeah, we are announcing weekly new topics. For example, today or tomorrow, there will be a new interesting blog post regarding configuring Microsoft 365 environments fully automated with our configuration management module. So check it out. And follow us on YouTube, ring the bell, and stay tuned. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day and see you soon. Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.